Hello guys, my name is Pios and today we're going to see how we can build and push an image to Dockerhub from GitHub Actions. So we have our code locally, we commit and change, then this change get merged into the main branch, and we want a flow that it can build our image of our application, push it to Dockerhub in our example in any other container registry, and then our image is ready to get pulled and run. So we'll focus on the step of building and pushing our image to a container registry. So let me show you what I have. I have a GitHub repo called Weather, and that's the repo locally. I have one project for our weather application, the API one called Weather.Api, and it's just the weather API that you get out of the box from ASP with just one endpoint to get the weather forecast. I also have a Dockerfile that is the default one that the writer generated for me. I haven't changed anything. If I just run that image from my IDE, as you can see now, it builds it and now it's running. And if I open a Docker desktop, we can see how the Weather.Api and the port 8080 has been mapped to our 8080 port. So if I open Postman and send a request to localhost 8080/weather forecast, I'll get back my forecast. Okay, let me stop that container, let me delete it, and I will also go to my images and I'll delete it from here as well, so it's no longer on our machine. And now I want it's time I push to main to build the image and push it to the Dockerhub. What I will do is, first of all, I will change to file system view, and in the root of my project I will create a new folder called .github, a subfolder called workflows, and then a file called deploy.yaml. So first of all, I will give it a name, let's say build and push to Dockerhub. Okay, I want this to be triggered on push and on push on main branch. So I will say branches and then main. So now every time we push to our main branch, that will be triggered. And now I need to specify my jobs, so I will say jobs, and my job is to push the image, to build and push the image to Dockerhub. So I'll just say push, then I'll specify where will it run, and I'll say runs ubuntu-latest. Maybe you want to have a standard one instead of getting the latest every time, but now let's specify the steps. So I'm going to say steps. The first step I will name it checkout, so name checkout, and I want to use the GitHub action, and that will be the actions/checkout and v4. So that's the action that will do the checkout, and I can give it an ID, but let's leave it as it is. Now the other step is to log in to our Docker account, so I will give it the name of login, and again I will say that uses a Docker login action. That will be the Docker/login action, and let me copy and paste the version. So it's a version 3.3 6.0. And now I need some credentials to log into GitHub. We could have a token, but we will keep it simple, and we will log in with a username and a password. So I'm going to say with and username, and for my username I will have a secret, and I can access it like that. So in here I will say secrets dot docker underscore username, and I will do the same for the password. So let me change that to password, and that one as well. And that is so we don't have in a YAML file our username and password. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my repository in GitHub. I'll go to settings, and I'll click on secrets and variables. I want to set the secret for my actions, and I will say new repository secret. I'll copy and paste the name, which was docker username, and let me show you that in my Dockerhub I have a repository Spiros 1993, which is just a random number and totally not when I was born, since I'm 18 years old, obviously, / Weather.Api. So that is my username. And now I want to add my password, so that will be docker underscore password. And I'll paste my password. And that was it. Now those secrets can be used from our GitHub action. So now I have another step with the name, let's say build and push Docker image. So build and push Docker image. And for that, although we can run a command like we would do in our terminal, I will use a Docker action called the Docker build push action. So let me copy and paste it, and the version is 6.13.0, I think it's the latest. And now I need to specify some things. So I'll say with, and then I will give it the context. So context, so it will be like under that weather folder, and as we can see our Dockerfile is in our Weather.Api folder. So I'll need to tell it where to find the Dockerfile, and that will be under Weather.Api, and then the name of our Dockerfile, so Dockerfile. And if we go to our Dockerfile, you see that it needed that context, since it says in that command copy weather.api / weather.api.api.csproj. So it needs to be one level up from our weather.api. And now I will say that I want to be pushed, so I'll say push true, which is false by default. And now I want to give it some tags. So I want to have I want to be like Weather.Api with the SHA of my GitHub commit. So I'll say Spiros 1993 / Weather.Api, and then I can have the GitHub SHA commit from here. So let me copy and paste that and replace that with github.sha, and let me remove that space. Okay, but I also want to tag it as latest, so each time I have a new image to be tagged as latest, so I can have multiple tags. And let me duplicate it, and instead of the SHA of the commit, let's say latest. So let's review it. We check out the commit, we log in we log in to Docker, then we build the image and we push it with some tags. Now I'll open Gitkraken, which is what I use for Git. I will give it a name like workflow, and I will push. Probably you don't want to push directly to main. You want to have a pull request from another branch and then run some checks like your tests and then merge it to main. We will do it like it for simplicity. So I'll push, and if I go to my actions, and let me refresh that, and that didn't seem to work. So let's see what went wrong. Probably something with the formatting. Push branches main, yep. That needed a space. Jobs push runs on ubuntu-latest steps name. No, that's not runs on. That's runs. So if I say runs on, and I'll give it another go. So let's say workflow again. Don't have commit messages like that, please. So I'll push it. Now I'll go again to actions, and we have our action. So let's go inside. Now you can see it's pushing our layers of the image, and it finished. Now it has to do some post build actions, etc. But if we go to our Dockerhub and refresh, as you can see, we have our image, the same image. The one has the tag of the SHA of the commit, and the other one the latest tag. So now I can open a terminal, and since I am logged in to my Dockerhub account from my terminal, I can say docker run on detached mode, map the port 8080 to the port 8080 and give the name with the name Weather.Api, and the image is Spiros 1993/Weather.Api latest. If I run that, you will see that it will download. It says enable to find image locally, so it will download it from Dockerhub, and it's running. So you can see it, Weather.Api, it's running, and it started 1 second ago. And again, if I send again a request, I will get a response. So that was it. That's how we can have a GitHub action to build and push an image to Dockerhub. And that's one part for your deployment. The other one is to actually take the image and run it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a nice one.